This is Leaf Life. All things cannabis for all people. Now, Ricker and the Bearded Lorax.
We publish a free magazine called The Leaf that is available in print in 13 states at your local cannabis retailer and also available online at leafmagazines.com. I'm Mike Ricker, your host of Leaf Life, with my co-host Wes Abney, also known as the Bearded Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
And there's AJOG.
Hola, aloha, OG.
And Mary J. White. The laughing female. Over the last 14 years, one media company has risen through the ranks to become the torchbearer for cannabis culture in the legal market. A rags to riches saga, this is the story of a dream that came true through persistence, integrity, and countless hot dabs. This is the history of the leaf.
Yes.
Hot damn it.
Woo, let's go.
Our first segment, the college dropout. And the second segment, the world's largest cannabis printed publication. But before we get educated, we got to get medicated. So let's get stoned. AJ's already ahead of us.
I need that extra little hit, you guys.
There you go. Smoking it out of, by the way, a My Bud Vase. Look at that thing. How cute, right?
So love it.
Go to mybudvase.com.
Gorgeous.
So now it's time to introduce the one and only Greg the guinea pig. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Greg, and Ricker used to try his weed out on me. But now it's someone else's turn to be the guinea pig.
Well, this time it is the co-founder and creative director of The Leaf. Yeah, when you pick up a Leaf magazine, you see this man's work. He's also one of the most highly sought-after portrait photographers in the city of Seattle.
Yep.
Daniel BERMAN, welcome to the Leaf Life Podcast.
Thank you for having me, guys.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
So,
it's weird to be
Daniel-
on the other side of the lens.
I know, right?
Tonight, but
Yay.
I guess this is afternoon.
This is it's happening, bro. It's a time-space continuum. And Daniel started The Leaf with Wes Abney in 2010. We'll explore this entire story. But first, we got to get somebody high. But Dan's not going to smoke today, so we got to call in a pinch hitter.
And now, stepping up to the plate, here's today's
Let's get that
pinch
battle.
hitter.
All right, AJOG, go ahead and spin AJ's wheel, and let's see what's in AJ's stash.
And now, what's in AJ's stash?
AJ, what do you got there?
All right, you guys. So we're rocking with the finest today. We got some OG Medley from CBX, Cannabiotix. That's out of California, you guys. I love these guys. When I go into dispensaries, I like to ask the bud tenders what they're smoking on. In Cali, they're smoking on CBX, I'm telling you. The packaging's cool because it features all of their High Times awards. If you could zoom in, you could see that, but...
Which are worthless, by the way.
yeah. I don't know. Come on, High Times is an industry OG. You got to be honest.
Used to be.
Yeah, used to be.
Yeah,
Not no
so
mo.
I think Wes is gonna...
Isn't it ironic, Wes, that we're actually bringing up that media company during the history of the Leaf show? Which, I mean, that's utter irony. I don't know if 238 shows if we've ever mentioned High Times before, other than having
Hey,
Bobby.
shout out to the groundbreakers at High Times.
Absolutely,
Hey, yeah,
100%.
Agree.
Yep.
And we got a lot of them on our team now, you guys. We're rocking with Danny Danko.
That's what
Bobby
I'm
If you
saying.
ask me, Danny Danko is High Times like OG. You know what I'm saying? So he's on the Leaf team.
Yeah, well, he now works for the Leaf, and so does Bobby Black. Both of those guys spent like 20,
you,
21
Wes.
years respectively at High Times, and now they came over to the green side. Fired up, 2 clicks there on the Dab X.
Oh,
That's
there we go.
an e-rig,
So
Wes.
this is
It's
the
an
card.
electronic dab rig. She's hitting it first. Oh, that's right.
Oh, wow.
Daniel's not hit. There it goes.
Oh, damn.
That thing's nice and smoky. Look at that
Wow,
red
look at
lipstick
that.
just exhaling
Oh
a
my
massive
goodness.
cloud.
You guys,
Wow.
The
I-
OG Medley from CBX. She's a natural, you
Ay,
guys.
ay, ay.
She's natural.
What do you smell there, Wes? I know you smell some terps, right? What is
Oh,
it?
it smells
Wow,
good.
the whole room smells
OG
delicious.
gas.
Oh my goodness.
Gee, gas.
Okay.
Mm.
That was fire.
Okay, now here we go.
Serious.
She's wearing a head. What is that? A headdress?
Yeah,
Mary?
my
It's a
my
head
things
wrap.
are falling
A
off
head
because
wrap.
of my wrap here.
It's,
Yeah.
Do you remember the Chiquita banana commercial?
Yes.
With the lady in the banana
Very.
suit with a headdress.
That's our girl right there.
Okay, we
That's
got
it.
to readjust, you guys. The headdress is
It's not playing well with the headphones.
okay.
It's not.
There you go.
There we
Wonderful.
There
go.
you
We're
go.
locked in. We're locked in.
Go
Houston,
to
we're
youtube.com
on.
and you can see us in person. Now, Daniel, let's start from the beginning. You were in middle school with Wes, or was it elementary school that you guys met?
We actually met in middle school. So it's been a while. Too many years, but it's hard to believe. The Leaf's going to be 14 years old.
No, we are 14. We're
We're in
going to be
our 14th
15.
year.
Yes. Now,
Wow.
didn't you guys, Wes, how did it happen? You guys hated each other and the principal had to separate the two of you?
What?
Our moms had to go down to the middle school and we separated our schedules.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you guys
the Lorax and I
troublemakers?
got in a fair amount of shenanigans.
Oh,
We'll leave it at that.
I see.
Oh, not because you
Shenanigans.
hated each other, but because you guys were in it together.
Well, they ended up,
Frenemies.
they loved each other eventually and became buddies. And then after high school, they both went to the same junior college and started a JC, or no, you started working for the AVITAS, which was the Edmonds Community College newspaper. And Wes was actually the first student to actually sell ads and make money for the
there you
AVITAS. So they
go.
said, hey,
Nice.
you want to have a bigger role here, right, Wes?
Yeah, it was Shoreline Community College. And Daniel started taking photos in middle school. And I remember my dad, who was always a teacher, he had one of the first digital cameras.
Oh.
And Daniel would borrow it and then started checking out school cameras. And I remember my dad saying he takes the most amazing photos of anyone he'd ever seen.
He has a
as
great
teacher.
eye, right? That's what he said. He has a good
Wow.
eye.
Wow.
Impressive, even at a young age.
Yeah.
And Daniel, it was clear to a lot of people, even in high school, he was going to be a photographer.
Mm.
And we both went to Shoreline Community College. And Daniel got hired, of course, as a photographer, staff photographer, and eventually the photo editor. And, we would get high and fuck around together. And I was going to Shoreline to play tennis. And Daniel was like, why don't you come work for the newspaper? You can be the business manager. And even now, it's I was this punk
Wow.
college kid.
Oh,
Had never done any journalism, but
But I mean, that's basically, in those classes every week, we were learning journalism and we got to put that, that knowledge that we were learning every week into the new issues of The Leaf.
Yeah.
no, the Ebtide.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
you're
he's
confused.
taking us
Going
way,
way back.
back.
No,
way,
well,
way
we
back.
started Northwest Leaf while we were still at Shoreline Community College. We were learning and putting together the magazine with our newly acquired journalism skills.
Yeah. And you guys were 20 years
Cool,
old,
That's
right?
epic.
In early 20s. We were over 21.
Wow.
We were going to
Wow.
our journalism advisor
Yeah.
and saying, what do you think about this new issue? And, you have to put yourself into the, 2010. What did ads look like? We were having very basic ads in our newly founded magazine. And this, highly respected journalism teacher says, I don't think there's a future for this magazine.
Yeah.
She saw the kind of, sexily clad cannabis ads of yore and said, I don't think this is a publication that's going to last a while.
Wow, I see.
We see who's getting the last laugh as
Yeah.
she's now working at the strip club.
I don't know where she's
Hopefully
working, but
on some earth.
she was a highly respected correspondent for news agencies all over the world
Yeah.
in
Patty
the 80s and
Jones.
90s. Patty
Wow.
Jones, we learned a lot from her.
Yeah.
And she took one look at the Leaf and said, I don't think this is for me.
Yeah.
Cannabis was never her thing.
Yet you guys persisted and you carried it through. And Wes, you're the college dropout. You actually dropped out to continue with the Leaf and have a baby.
Well, yeah, a lot was going on at the time. And also an important kind of foundational story. Daniel and I got arrested together for cannabis.
Oh.
And
now the dirt comes out.
Yeah, we were
The
like,
charges were dropped. The charges were dropped.
we were almost 21 and within months. And we went down one June day to Richmond Beach, Seattle, area, Shoreline. And we had a little bonfire. It was me and Daniel and Corey, the mother of my daughters. She was 8 months pregnant, super preggers. And Daniel and I each had one tall boy of beer each, like 1 can of beer, and we had like maybe 2 grams of weed between us. And we lit a fire.
I had mostly empty bags in my pocket.
Yeah, Daniel actually had no weed. He had empty. We had smoked his weed, but he still had the bags. And I had a little.
The cops
weed.
actually made fun of me. They said, "You should have more weed in these bags."
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
So we're on the beach,
Wow.
and it's a weekday, and we're thinking we're not going to get in any trouble because why would we? And out of nowhere, a cop comes out wearing a cowboy hat and smoking a cigar, and his partner like shines the light on us.
Oh God, I hate that light.
And they were like, "We caught you," and they were excited.
Oh,
my.
They were
It turned
doing-
out to be prom night. They were like watching.
It was
and-
graduation.
graduation night.
Graduation.
Yeah, for the
night.
seniors. So they were looking for all the senior parties. And we were like, we're almost 21 and we're in college, and can you cut us a break? And no, they arrested us, handcuffed us.
Wow.
Right there on the log.
Yep.
Ew.
Accused the pregnant one of drinking, and we had 1 beer each, Daniel and I.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like, we're not sharing, but it was,
Wow.
and then I went to court. We went to court for, deferral, and my mom was like crying in court, and she was like, "This is what your life
I just want
has
so much
become."
more for you.
Yeah.
Oh God.
What did she say,
You
Wes?
guys.
Well, she was like, she was having that moment, that
Yeah.
parent moment where you're
Yeah.
like, did I fail?
Right.
And why is my kid here?
Mhm.
And she's
Yeah.
like, why are you here, Wesley, when I'm in trouble? And I was like, I don't think I deserve to be here. I didn't
Right.
think what we did was that wrong.
Yeah.
And we'd been fucked with by cops in Seattle proper, where it was decriminalized, and they would just throw your weed away and send you home. But in Shoreline, the suburb, they arrested us, and that bothered me. It seriously bothered
Yeah.
me. And at
Yeah.
the time, I was selling weed, and so then I was gonna have the kid, and I was like, I can't do the weed thing if I'm gonna have a kid. And
Who's now 15.
Yeah.
Almost.
So he was-
she's
exactly.
as old as the leaf, basically. My older one, Emily, and I had this idea to take like the college newspaper model and start writing about weed.
Mhm.
And it was just, I thought it was going to be a project to take me to law school. Daniel thought we were all idiots.
Oh, Daniel.
Ooh, this weed industry
I
has had to
remember-
grow on Daniel.
Even my dad, we took the first issue. We started it with a $1,600 loan from a friend who was a part of it. Took the first issue to my dad, and he was like, "This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. You're throwing your future away for this."
Oh gosh.
He was a high school teacher.
Well,
Who used to
yeah.
play my radio show in Auto Shop, and that's where
Nice.
Wes first
right.
learned about me.
Yeah.
That's how it all came together.
And it really
pretty cool.
grew out of journalism from our college experience. And Daniel was then going to Western Washington University, and we'd bring him down on the train. And it was, as he was learning in school, like the magazine improved, and I was learning through application, like through doing it each month.
Mhm.
Wow.
And we have not missed a single monthly issue since June of 2010.
Wow.
Wow, you guys.
All for free.
Whew.
Yeah.
Quite the
And-
feat.
You know, this auspicious day made me want to count how many issues we've actually released as Leaf magazines. And with the August Psychedelia issue, we're looking at 488 issues of Leaf
Wow.
magazines
You
That
guys.
between
numbers.
all of our markets.
Wow.
Issue 158 is going to print for Washington. Right behind it, we got 110 for Oregon Leaf. Alaska is going to be the next one to break 100.
Wow.
It's at 88 issues now.
That's
It's
really
impressive.
cool.
You
And
guys.
238 podcasts.
That's right.
Wow.
And Wes, didn't you design the first Leaf magazine? And after that, Daniel said he was studying design at Western Washington University. He said, "Let me take this over, bro."
I thought I could do it better.
Oh, good.
And you've been
Thank God.
designing it
So
ever
good. Ever
since.
since.
Well, I mean, I took the pictures for the very first cover.
Yeah.
We photographed people at the Green Door.
Yeah.
June 2010, issue 1. It was 16 pages on newsprint. We couldn't even afford staples. So it was just unbound newsprint.
Yeah.
Half the pages
Wow.
would be missing depending on who we printed it with.
Wow.
It was super underground.
You
And
guys,
so was-
do you
it was
have-
more of a
do you guys
zine
have
at the
those in
time.
hand?
We do.
We
We
need
have
them.
some here in the office.
We need
And,
them in a frame.
and at that time, weed was not legal. It was barely legal for medical.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you didn't know what you were going to walk into. And I'll say this now, but I wouldn't say this on the record back then. But some shops you'd walk into and there'd be like an AK-47 in the corner and like guns
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yep.
And some shops you'd walk
Those
into
OG
that
days.
felt like a dispensary today. Very professional, very, secure.
And some shops were people's homes, yeah?
Oh yeah, the little
A lot of homes.
garages.
Yeah.
Gardens were all illegal. People would want to blindfold us, and
Oh God.
it was like Vice. It was like Vice journalism
Yeah.
for
Yo.
those years, and then we really began to see the patients, and you hear the stories, and when you hear about people whose lives are changed for the better by cannabis.
Yep.
And then also you see the people whose lives are ruined by the criminalization of it.
Yes.
It turned us all into activists really quickly. And we were like, we're fighting for something.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just, high times, like in the fun, let's have high
Right.
times kind of
Yeah.
weed glorification. We were fighting for what we now have today, which
Yes.
is legal cannabis. And we played a big part in that here in Washington and later on in a lot of other places.
Well, in the
Thank
second
you.
segment, we'll talk more about the present and a little bit more about the past. But first, Daniel, it's time for you to play Who Said What?
Oh, Daniel.
Now, just to clarify,
What? Who said that?
let's find out
What? Who said that?
who said what. That's a who said.
All right, baby, you ready?
I am ready.
My guy. So, Daniel, I'm
I
going to
love
give
the
you.
music.
Oh, yeah.
Did we get new music?
This has always been the music
vibing.
bed for this one. It's electro swing,
Yeah.
personally chosen by yours truly.
Funk Town.
Oh yeah, you make the magazine, I make the podcast, bro. It's I make the magazine too, though, huh, Wes?
It takes a
There
village.
you go.
Takes a
Stony
village.
baloney.
And there's only one Ricker.
I'm going to give you a quote, and you have to tell me which celebrity said it. The three celebrities are Al Pacino, Tina Fey, and Jack Nicholson. Here we go. Interesting stuff. All right, number one. I hate when people say it's nice to meet you. How do you know it's nice to meet me? I'm an asshole. Al Pacino, Tina Fey, or Jack Nicholson?
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
I think they could all be on their
the
bad
answer's
side.
Wes Abney. Just kidding.
I'm going to have to go with Jack.
That's correct.
Yeah, it is.
Ooh.
I hate when people say it's nice to
On
meet
the
you.
money.
How do you know it's nice to meet me? I'm an asshole. Okay, number two. I wish I could trade my heart for another liver. That way I could drink more and care less.
Going to go with Al Pacino.
Oh, that's incorrect, Janet. Yeah, that's Tina Fey. Okay, bro. But great quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And number three, I asked God for a bike, but I know God doesn't work that way. So I stole a bike and asked for forgiveness.
There you go.
Great quote.
Yeah.
Is it
Also,
Al
Wes Abney.
Pacino?
It is. Look at this guy. He's on fire.
I was just guessing.
Hey, if you want to discover cannabis news, reviews, entertainment, and culture and explore every Leaf magazine at your convenience, search leafmagazines.com. Coming up in our second segment, we'll dive into how the Leaf is the world's most widely circulated cannabis publication. And we'll get another spin of AJ's Wheel and kick it all off with another episode of Who Does That? With Mary J. White. Leaf Life continues in just a moment.
Your hosts for Leaf Life are Mike Ricker and Wes Abney. Leaf Life is produced by Mike Daly. Some of the music heard is provided by purple-planet.com. Every bit of cannabis you use is female, so please respect the ladies.
Leaf Life is brought to you by Leaf Nation, featuring Alaska Leaf, Oregon Leaf, Northwest Leaf, Northeast Leaf, Maryland Leaf, Amsterdam Leaf, and California Leaf. On the shelf now in your local retailer.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug. There may be health risks associated with consumption of this product. For use by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children.
Some of the wardrobe, including Ricker Wes's sick lids, is provided by Grassroots California. Check out the dopeness at grassrootscalifornia.com.